Leon Rose and the New York Knicks are back at it again, making another roster move. And it sounds like another one could be on the horizon. That's why you subscribe to the channel. When the Knicks make a move, we get you guys a video. So go down right now, hit that big red sub button, and help us get to our goal of 61,000 subscribers. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We're going to talk about the Knicks' loss to the Golden State Warriors around the corner, but I wanted to start today's show with a roster move because the New York Knicks have claimed Anton Watson off of waivers. He was waived by the Boston Celtics just a couple of days ago, and now the Knicks are signing him to a two-way contract. Watson was drafted by Boston at Gonzaga with the 54th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, and the 24-year-old Watson, 6'8", averaged 14.5 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, and 2.6 dimes last year at Gonzaga. Shot 41.2% from three, and I've seen some people talking about the New York Knicks have signed a sniper. I would just say hit the brakes on that one a little bit. Only shot 1.5 threes per game at Gonzaga last year. I view him a little bit more as a versatile defender with good size at 6'8", and he's got some good athleticism to his game as well. He's played in 21 games in the G League this year, averaging 29.9 minutes per game, shooting 5.7 three-pointers a night, so he's upped his volume dating back to his days at Gonzaga. But he didn't shoot 41.2% from three in the G League like he did in college, shooting just 30.8%. So struggling from there, averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 dimes, and only shooting 42.6% from the field. To be honest with you, I didn't know much about Anton Watson. So I went out, I looked at some scouting reports, and this is what NBA.com had to say about him. Quote, Watson was tasked with a variety of defensive assignments from centers to guards back in college. He's capable of bothering quick players on the perimeter and stopping big players at the rim. His shooting can come and go, and he didn't launch threes at a high volume. However, he was a top-notch finisher, able to complete layups through contact with either hand. He's not one to handle the ball, but he makes good decisions as a passer. Watson may not have a defined position at the NBA level, but could feasibly slot in from small forward to center, the latter in small ball lineups, given his 6'8", 230-pound frame. He'll likely succeed the most on teams or in lineups that are switchable on defense and execute movement offensively. There are still questions about Watson's jump shot, but teams may gravitate towards low-mistake style of offense and high level of defensive intensity and capability. Look, this is a developmental signing for the New York Knicks. He joins one of the two other players they have already on two-way contracts. He's eligible to play 12 games in the NBA this year, as the Knicks have 21 games left on their schedule. He could play up to 12 of those. Can't play all of them if you're on a two-way contract. I think they'll try to develop him in the Westchester G League with the Knicks as they continue to roll with this into the offseason. Maybe he plays on the Summer League team. I don't really anticipate seeing him with the big league New York Knicks. So all your two-way deals are now full because the Knicks, they did release Jacob Toppin, who ended up signing a two-way deal with the Atlanta Hawks, and they've also released veteran Matt Ryan. So the three guys you have now on two-way deals, Kevin McCullough Jr., who's starting to play a lot better in the G League as he's coming back from those injuries that really saw him slide in the NBA draft. Marjon Beauchamp, who we did a video on 2 days ago. That's why you subscribe. And Anton Watson. The New York Knicks, they still can make more moves, though. They still have an open roster spot on their team. They only have 14 full-time players, meaning they can go out and they can sign one other person. And it sounds like it could be Moses Brown, who is back with the Westchester Knicks, most recently doing a 10-day contract with the Dallas Mavericks. But because where they are at salary cap-wise, right up against the apron, they could not bring him back. So he returns to the Westchester Knicks, and I think that he could be getting an NBA deal, maybe a 10-day contract or a veteran minimum prorated for the remainder of the season. The 7'2" big man played really well in 2 games with the Mavs. He had like 20 and 18 one game, and then 18 and 9 in another. And right now the Knicks, They're without Karl Anthony Towns. We still don't really have any information on that. Karl Anthony Towns' wife tweeting out F cancer. Don't want to speculate on that, but our thoughts and prayers are with the Towns family. And with the limited bodies the Knicks have at center right now, the only active guy at center that's healthy is Mitchell Robinson. Moses Brown, I could see him joining this team very soon. Another player the Knicks have been linked to bringing up to the big leagues is TJ Warren. He's been playing down in the G League for the New York Knicks. Tom Thibodeau has been very complimentary of Warren and how he's carried himself as a pro and been someone that some of these young guys down in Westchester could look to. And he's still a bucket getter. And he's still only 31 years old, so there's some tread left on the tires. I think Warren makes a little bit more sense long-term for the Knicks for the remainder of the year. But right now, with the injuries and the question marks surrounding the depth at the center position, Moses Brown may be the move that they make first. Which one would you do? If you were Leon Rose, which one of these Westchester G Leaguers would you bring up to the New York Knicks? Type MB for Moses Brown. Type TJ for TJ Warren. Let me know your thoughts. The New York Knicks fell to the Golden State Warriors last night, a game that they thought they saw themselves leading by 10-plus points. They end up losing in a game that they were really non-competitive in that second half, and they were blown off the floor. I've got a lot to say about that. We'll talk about that in a second. First, though, if you want your Knicks Now Real One t-shirt, whether they lose, whether they win, if you're a real one and you ride or die with this team, go to chatsports.com/realknicks. That's chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your Knicks Now Real One t-shirt today. We've got blue. We've got black. Everyone always asks me, Marsh, Knicks Now needs some merch. Well, we got some, so go buy it. If you want more merch, we got to sell out of these. That's what Brett and James, the CEO and CEO of Chat Sports, had to say. So the Knicks, they were up by more than 10 at one point against the Golden State Warriors, and they ended up losing by more than 10. They were absolutely dominated in that second half. They went into halftime up by, I believe, it was 8 points. It was a 3 at the end that cut the lead to 11. But overall, the Knicks could not find a way to score the basketball in that second half. Through the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Knicks had 12 points. Simply just not going to cut it. And their defense in the second half, I thought wasn't very good either. The Warriors put up 35 points in the third quarter, 32 points in the fourth quarter, and the New York Knicks were outscored by more than 15 points in that second half. And it's a game where you couldn't buy a bucket from three, shooting 24% from downtown, and it's not like the Warriors lit it up either. They started off extremely slow, and really, that's the reason that the Knicks saw themselves up by double figures. They ended the game a little bit hotter, shooting 35.1% from three. And a lot of the reason that the Warriors had success on the offensive end were just lapses in defense by the New York Knicks, not getting back in transition, not knowing if they're going to switch, not knowing who's picking anybody up in a fast break. I tweeted out on my Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. You can go check it out. Some of the film and defensive breakdowns the New York Knicks had last night were things that happened in the preseason, things you iron out in training camp. We've played 61 games, and Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, they still don't know when to switch. They still don't know how to guard a pick and roll. It was backdoor cut after backdoor cut after backdoor cut. The Knicks, a lousy effort last night. And once again, in a big-time moment, in a big-time game, Mikal Bridges just does not show up. He had a late bucket at the end of the game that makes the stats look better. But when the game was still within striking distance, he threw the ball away to the Golden State Warriors. Then Steph Curry hits a corner three, and it's night-night. Bridges was okay on defense, but man, in a game where you're guarded by Stephen Curry for the majority of the night, and Karl Anthony Towns does not play, and the Knicks need a second scoring option, this is dog shit. This is just simply unacceptable. The Knicks traded the control of 6 first-round picks, and it's not for a guy to score 15 points a game and be a below-average three-point shooter. I tweeted it out after 11 games that this looks like one of the worst trades in NBA history. We are now 61 games into the NBA, and if it wasn't for Nico Harrison trading Luka Doncic for nothing, this would still be one of the worst trades in NBA history. Leon Rose, you've done a lot of good for this organization. You pulled us out of the trenches, and we are now a team that can compete against 27 teams in the NBA. But against the top 3, we're 0-7, and Mikal Bridges, all the patient moves you made, kind of ruined it all with this Mikal Bridges trade. We want him to be good. We need him to be good. But you got to call a spade a spade. Bridges has been terrible. 2 of 17 from 3 in his last 3 games. Got to pick it up. Josh Hart was awful last night as well. I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. I think his injury is playing a bigger part in his game than we realize. Played just 33 minutes last night. Played just like 28 minutes against the Miami Heat a couple nights ago. I think the injury is starting to take a toll on his game, and the three-point shooting has fallen off a cliff. Started the season on a really, really strong percentage, but since the year turned to 2025, he's shooting below 23% from 3. This team is a different team when Josh Hart makes threes to when he doesn't, and when he doesn't, they are not a very good offense. There's only so much Jalen Brunson could do. Like, there was literally only so much they could do. They double-teamed him every single time in the second half. Their goal was to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands, and no one else on the Knicks could beat him. Mikal Bridges, nowhere to be found. Think about it like this. You got 25 from Brunson, and you got 29 from OG Anunoby, and you lost by double digits. Like, OG was awesome last night. I thought he played really good. The last couple of games, his defensive intensity has really turned up. When the jersey becomes untucked, he's been going to a different level. But right now, you're not getting enough from Bridges, and you're not getting enough from Hart. And when you're down a starter like Karl Anthony Towns, you need somebody to step up. OG did. Nobody else really did. Mitchell Robinson, they say he's not on a minute restriction. Played just 15 minutes last night. Played 13 minutes the prior 2 nights. Hasn't played all that much. They're going to take it slow with him. Made his first start for the Knicks dating back to December of 2023. Thought he was all right. I didn't think it was anything special. Hopefully he gets his legs under him sooner rather than later, especially if Karl Anthony Towns is going to miss some time. And Tom Thibodeau even hinted that he may not make the trip out west. Precious Achiuwa, the stats look good. 8 points, 15 rebounds. I don't need Precious Achiuwa shooting corner threes in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter shot diet for the New York Knicks made me want to vomit. It was disgusting. Way too much campaign. Way too much Landry Shamet. Way too much Precious Achiuwa. Like, why are we real? And then Tibbs, and like, I know we talk about Tibbs playing the starters too much. He waited till 8 minutes and the Knicks blew the fourth quarter lead to put the starters back in. And then just said, you know what? Brunson, can you do it one more time? Can you save us again? You can only play that card so many times or you're going to get burnt. I thought Deuce McBride, even though the stats didn't show it, I thought he played well and competed well on defense. And he should have played more last night. Josh Hart didn't have it, clearly banged up. I think they should have pulled the cord on him late in that second half and rolled with Deuce. At the end of the day, the Warriors have been a really good team since that Jimmy Butler trade, but it's a game that you were up double digits at home with the Warriors on a road back-to-back. There was no excuse to lose that game, even if you didn't have Karl Anthony Towns. I don't know. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Seems like the Knicks can't get stops against good teams, and they can't score versus good teams. You haven't scored more than 110 points in a game against the Celtics, the Cavs, or the Thunder, and against the Golden State Warriors, you score 102 points. I don't know. I'm starting to worry about this team at a pretty serious level. What's your confidence level in this Knicks team to right their wrongs, to get back on track? They're 13-5 in their last 18. Like, it could be a lot worse. But expectations, they make you look at everything through a little bit of a different lens. Confidence level, 1 to 10, that the Knicks are going to get it right. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG. Hit me up at @MarshallGreen_.